And today we're going to learn about CSS. So what is CSS? CSS is cascading style sheet. So what actually CSS does is, like we made a website yesterday which looks like this, but we all know that this is not actually good to see. Like it's very plain, it's not at all user friendly. Like it has everything, but it's not impressive or interactive, or it's not actually good to see. So for a good website, we need colors, we need background colors, like we need margins, we need different styling elements in it. So what CSS does is that it adds styles to the HTML document that we have created right now. So yeah, let's move on to our code. Yes, so for CSS, we have to create a separate file in the same folder itself. So yeah, I'll go here. It's a naming convention to name the first CSS file as style.css. Yes, so I've created a style.css. But this is our index.html. We need to link this index.html to the style.css that we have created. Then only this index.html will know that like there is a style.css, we have to take style from that. So it is like you have to tell the browser that there is such and such CSS file present. We have to take it into consideration. So as you're communicating with the browser and not showing anything on the screen, we have to write it within our head tag. So yeah. So that for linking the style sheet, the CSS file to the HTML, we use link tag, and the attribute is rel. What is the relation? What are we actually trying to link? What is the relation with the HTML document? So we'll tell that it's a style sheet, and then we need to give the href. I hope you remember what href was. We've done it in the anchor tag yesterday. Href was used to give the URL or like the path actually. So for us, the path is like style.css since it's present in the same folder. So yeah, we've linked our CSS file to the HTML. So when we write that, we wrote it inside the head tag. Inside the head tag, we specified a link tag. A link tag is used to link any kind of documents. Like if you have multiple CSS, we can use multiple link tags. And like what is the relation? It's a style sheet. And what is the style sheet's name? So yeah, it's style.css. So that's that. Yeah, so now the style.css is linked with index.html. Now let's see how we can apply our CSS to like into our document, how we can style that. So starting with color. So first we have a h1 tag, a head tag. Let's change the color of this h1 tag. Like I want the color to be red or something. Yeah. So what we do is that inside the style.css, we'll write h1. Like h1 is a tag name, right? And then we'll open a curly bracket. So now we have the tag name and the curly bracket. And now we'll say that like, yeah, we have to have the background color. Well, no, the color of the h1, like the color of the text. So for that, we use color attribute. The color has to be red, right? Either we can type in red or I'll just choose crimson. We can choose any color as if we want. I'll show you one thing. If you hover this thing, you will get a color palette and you can choose any color that you want from here. This is a feature of VS Code. Like if you hover this, you'll get the color palette and like you can decide from among the colors. You'll get a color palette and you can decide which color exactly you want. So yeah, I've mentioned the h1 tag and I've changed the color of the h1 tag text into a slight reddish color. Now let's see if this works. Yeah. So yeah, we can see that the h1 tag's color has changed to something like a red color. And how do we go about with paragraph tag? What if I want to change the color of paragraph tag? Then I'll just specify P instead of H1. Like whatever is the tag name, you have to give the tag name, and then you have to give in the attributes within the curly brackets. So we'll change the color to some dark magenta. Yeah, and we'll see. So yeah, I hope it's clear. Like it's kind of a purplish magenta-ish color that we've got for paragraph tag. But something that you can notice is that, so I just wanted to change the color of this paragraph tag. But yeah, all the paragraph tags of this HTML document got changed into that color. See the code, the this paragraph tag, everything got changed into like that purplish color. So this is one of the disadvantages of using tags here. So like all the paragraph tags present in the document gets changed like if we apply like this. So I don't want that to happen. Like that is it is kind of an easy way if you want to do that. But what if I just want to apply the color to only this thing? Like as in I don't want to apply the color to these things. I just want this to be black itself. So I just want to change the color of this sentence, this paragraph tag, or a particular thing. So yeah, what we can do is that I'll remove that. I'll just comment it off. Yeah. So where is my paragraph tag? So this is the paragraph tag whose color I want to change. Yesterday I just mentioned about a tag named div tag, and I told that you won't be like understanding the use yesterday, and we'll be using div tags today while we're doing CSS. So yeah, here comes the use of div tag. So we have the paragraph tag here. I just want to change the color of this paragraph tag to something like yellow or yellow. Yeah. And what I'll do is I'll enclose this paragraph tag in a div tag, div tag. I'll just cut and paste this inside. Yeah. So I just enclosed our paragraph tag, like whatever I want to change inside this div tag. And I'll just apply Prettier to make it a little bit good to see. Yeah, I didn't change. It's okay. Yeah. So yeah, I enclosed a div tag, like I've enclosed the paragraph tag inside the div tag. So now what I'll do is that, so what actually div tag does is, div tag gives a class to this paragraph tag and we can change the properties of that particular class. For that, we'll give class is equal to, and we'll give some name like, I'll give para color. You can give any name. So what did I do? In the div tag, I gave a class named paracolor. So what? So if I tell the like to the HTML browser that I'm looking for paracolor class, then the HTML like the browser will know that the paracolor class has this paragraph tag. So we're just giving a notation for this paragraph tag by like we are enclosing it with a class so that we can tell this the name of the class, not like we don't need to give like paragraph tag. We can just give the name of the class to the HTML browser. So what is the name? We have named it paracolor inside the div tag. Now let's give the class. So I can't just give paracolor here. See, it doesn't work. Like it is not the correct way. You can't give like that because if you give paracolor like that, it means that it's a tag. It's not a tag, it's a class, right? So for accessing class, use a dot operator. Dot class name, paracolor. And now I'll specify the color as some dark orange. Yeah. So what did I do? I enclosed the paragraph tag that I wanted inside a div tag, and then I gave a class name paracolor to this div tag. This class name can be anything, absolutely anything. But yeah, it will be nice if you give something, some genuine names, like not some random names. We can give something genuine or related. Yeah, let's see. Yeah. So now all these paragraph tags remain black itself, and we got this paragraph tag to be a little bit, yeah, which color is that? Kind of an orange color, yeah, kind of an orange color. So this is how we access small elements or groups of elements. Like I can add more paragraph tags inside this div tag. Like say if I give more paragraph tag inside this div tag, as in, yeah, and then Sriraj, and I'll give a h3 tag. Okay. Yeah. So so here is a div tag, and inside the div tag I've given 3 paragraph tags and a h3 tag. And let's see. Yeah. So all these colors gets changed and not the others. So we are like grouping the things that we want into a single class, and then we're applying the particular property. And yeah, now we've seen about colors. Now the next thing is background color. Now the background color is white, and I don't want a white background color. And I want to change the background color of the entire document. So which class encloses the entire document? Like which tag encloses the entire document that we're seeing? It's the body tag, right? So the body tag has everything that we see inside the browser. So if we give a background color to the body tag, it means that we're giving a background color to everything. So yeah, we will go access our body tag inside this. Since it's a tag, we don't need to give the dot operator. So for the body tag, I'll give a background color. Which color? Hot pink. I think it'll look good. I don't know. Yeah, it's not looking good. I'll give some other color. I'll give a yellow. I think that'll be better. Yeah, better, I think. So yeah, what did I do? I just accessed the body tag here. Since the tag I didn't use a dot operator, and then I gave the background color as yellow. So we have learned about color for giving color to the text, and background color for giving background. And now the next thing. The next thing is margin and padding. So for that I'll take. There is something to demonstrate. Margin and padding is like kind of similar but entirely different things. So yeah, I'll show you what it is. Yeah, imagine this to be your computer screen, like what you're seeing, the browser, and you have something here. Okay, so what is margin, what is padding? And like inside this block, let's consider this to be a div, okay, a class or something, and we have lots of paragraph tags inside that. We had 3 paragraph tags, right? Yeah, so I'll just type in some text inside that. So these are our paragraph tags that we saw before. Yeah, so okay. So what is margin? What is padding? So what is this? This is the div that we saw before, like para color, right? Yeah, this is the para color div, and we had 3 paragraph tags, I think, and 1 history tag also. Yeah. So what is margin? So we have this. The distance from here to here is the margin top. I'll use a different color. Yeah. So the distance from the top to this div is the margin top. The distance from here to here is the margin left. The distance from here to here is the margin right. Distance from the bottom to here is the margin bottom. So we have margin top, margin left, margin right, margin bottom. And now what is padding? Padding is the distance from here to the text, like what we have here. This is the padding top. This is the padding left. This is the padding right and padding bottom, and this is the padding right. So I hope you understood what padding is, and padding and margin is. Margin is the distance from the outer thing to the div. Padding is the distance of the div to the content inside it. Content, let it be an image tag or a h3 tag or a paragraph tag, whatever is inside, the distance from that div to this thing. So yeah, I'll just draw one more column. So imagine you have something here, something like this here. Then what is the margin right for this? Margin right is gonna be this distance only, not the entire distance. Margin right is just gonna be this much distance. So margin is gonna be the distance from the adjacent elements to that place. So if we have something here, then this is gonna be the margin bottom. And this is padding. So I hope you understood you got a brief idea on what padding and margin is. Like, do you have any doubt regarding what a margin or padding is? If you have any doubt, you can ask. You can either unmute or you can put it in the chat box. Like, yeah, it may be confusing for some people, but like if padding doesn't work, you can use margin. You can, if margin doesn't work, you can use padding. Like for beginners, it's kind of confusing when you use that. So you'll get used to it as you go. So it's okay. So do you have any doubt? Anyone? Yeah, okay. Thank you. Yeah, so now let's implement this. So this is our website. Mm, I'll define a new tag for that, for showing margin and padding. I'll just define a new paragraph tag. Let me give some content inside that. Point. CP Trivandrum S5 CSC. Yeah. I'll just inside this, enclose this inside a div as we did, not this. Yeah. I'll do I'm just doing the same thing, okay? I'm enclosing the paragraph tag inside this div, and I'm giving it a class name some other for showing margin padding. Margin padding. I'm just giving a class name. Yeah. So right here. Yeah. So we have a class margin padding and we have a paragraph tag here. So I'm going to give a margin and a padding. I'll just show you what now it looks like. It's gonna be a plain paragraph tag right now. Yeah. So I'm gonna give margin and padding to this. So what was the name of our class? Margin padding, right? Margin padding. Yeah. So I'll just give a background color first. A background color of violet. And let's see now what happens. Yeah. See, this thing got a background color. Like this is the paragraph tag. PF paragraph tag. By default, this thing like the HTML, CSS, everything gives us a margin and padding by default. Like if we are not using any CSS and all, to make it look good, they give us some margin and padding by default. We'll just make it 0. Margin, padding, 0. I'll just tell you what I did right now. First, let's see the change. Yeah, so it became kind of crumbled now, because by default HTML gave us a little bit margin and a little bit padding, like to give a little bit spacing and make it look a little bit better. Now what I did is that I used a star operator. Star operator is like we are accessing, it's not just a body, we are just accessing the entire thing. So using star operator, I gave the margin 0, padding 0, and just setting all the defaults to 0 so that I can give my own margins, like whatever I need. And now I'm going to give my margin to this. So this is the like margin padding class. I'm going to give a margin left of. So for margins and padding, it's better that you give it in percentage, like 2% or 3% or 5%. You can give it in pixels, like you have a unit called pixels. You can give it in pixels, but I won't advise you to give it in pixels. You like, it's better to give it in percentages. So my margin left is going to be 5%. Let's see what happened. Yeah, so this is the 5%. Like margin left, this is the 100%. Like this width is 100%. This is going to be margin left 5%. And I'm going to give a margin right also 10%. Margin right 10%. Margin top 4%. Margin bottom 9%. Yeah, so we have it like, yeah, it's okay. So this is 5%, this is 10%, this is 4%, and this is 9%. And yeah, it looks actually cool. But what if you want to give all the margins same? Then you can just give like margin and give some percentage. But I just want it to be different. So I accessed everything differently, left, right, top, bottom. If you want to have everything same value, then just give margin, it's okay. And now let's move on to padding. I'll give padding left 6%, and let's see what happened. I've given padding left 6%. See, So from the containers inside, the padding left, the distance of the text, this content is now, this is 6%, okay. And now I'll give padding top, oh, padding top 6%, padding bottom 4%, padding right 3%. This also you can give this padding if you are going to give same values for left, right, bottom and top. Yeah. So this is padding and margins used to make your document look better. Like if you have a lot of text, it'll be like very good to see. I'll just give some random text and I'll show you. I'm just copying and pasting the same thing. I think it's enough. Yeah, so if you have some big text like this, it looks pretty good, right? Better than having it all crumbled. We are just giving it separately. So this is what padding and margin is. Margin helps us to give the distance from here to here. Padding helps us to give the distance from the inside of this component to this. And now we have something called width. So yesterday we saw like a big image, right? A extremely big image, and we were not able to like not even see the whole image. It was really big. This image is small, and like I'll show you how to. I will take that image only. What was that strawberry, right? A very big image and not at all good to see. And I told you yesterday that we'll format it today. I think I have it in my code itself. I didn't delete the code. Yeah, I didn't delete the code. I just commented the code. So I don't need this. Yeah, see, we have a big image. It's not at all good to see. See, this is very bad. So I need to decrease the width of this image. So what I can do is that we have something called width. So that this helps us to give the width. So where is the image tag? This is the image tag, right? So this image tag, we usually give class to div tags, okay? Div tag is used for giving class names. But in such cases, for images, we can just give the class name to this image tag only. We can do that also. So what is the class name? Strawberry. Yeah, strawberry. So I have given a class name strawberry to this images. And then since it's a class name, I'll access using dot operator, strawberry. And then width. Now we're going to give width. Width is going to be 50%. I'll just give it in 50. It's at 50%. Yeah. So what do you see? The width of this image became 50% of the entire width. So this is going to be the entire width, okay? Like from this corner, top left corner to top right corner is going to be the entire width. And now it became 50%. Cool, it's cool to see. And I'll give it a, what if I want to, like, I want to center, where is it? Yeah, so my image width is okay. My width is nice. I think it looks nice right now. But I want it to be in the center. So like we had center tag in HTML before, but that is not present right now. So what I usually do is that to center this image, we know that the width of the image is 50%, right? We know that the width of the image is 50%. How much is left? 100 minus 50, 50% of the width is left. I'll divide it equally among margin left and margin right. 25%, margin right, 25%. So what did I do? The width was actually 50% and left 50%. I divided 25 equally among margin left and margin right. Now let's see. See, it's actually in the center. So this is one of the tricks that you can use to center something. If it's text, you have text align center and all. But yeah, I usually use this to center things. This actually works for every case, and it is actually, this is one of the best methods to center things. Yeah, so what did I do? The width is actually 50%, and then I divided the rest 25, 25 among the margin left and margin right. So this is actually now in the center. And you can like change the width to, if you change the width to 40%, then it's actually 60% which is left. 100 minus 40, 60. Then divide the 60 equally among margin left and margin right, 30, 30. Is there any doubt in like how I did this, width, height, anything? How I centered this? Or centering things makes it look actually a little bit good. Like, yeah, it makes your thing look a little bit good. So if you have any doubts as of now, like don't feel like bad to ask any doubt. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Now, yeah. Now what's left? Now we have text, right? We have any paragraph tags here. We had a paragraph tag, right? Yeah, this paragraph tag. I want to change the font size. Font size or font weight. Font weight is like the thickness. I want it to be like you can either use bold, okay? I just want to make it bold, or I just want to increase the font size of this paragraph tag. Where is this paragraph tag? It was enclosed in some class, right? Yeah. Inside this margin padding tag, I have that paragraph tag. And I want to increase the font size. Font size, if it's font size, and we'll give the unit of font size, like you can give it either in pixel or in rem. Pixel and rem are actually two units that you can use to give font size. I usually prefer rem. I'll give 2 rem and see like if it looks good. If it doesn't look good, we'll yeah, it became big. 2 rem is pretty big. I'll give it 1.5 rem. REM, okay, rem. 1.5 rem. Yeah, okay, looks cool. So yeah, I increased the font size. This looks neat and tidy. And now I need to increase the font weight. As in I want to make it a little bit more bold. So for that, we have something called font weight. Like it's actually the weight. As in we are gonna make it look a little bit more heavy. Yeah, font weight. So font weight, I'm gonna give 700. So yeah, you'll get predictions when you give that. I'll just show you. Font weight predictions data. It came actually have values like 100 to 100. You can give values to 800, like depending upon how much thickness you want. I'm just giving 700. It became a little bit bold. So what did I do? So I've used font size to increase the size of the font. I used font weight to increase the thickness. As in, you can use bold tag here. But the thing is that bold tag, the boldness is fixed. But here I can vary the boldness. As in, I can give 600 to make it a little bit less bold. There won't be much of a change. But yeah, there's like slight change only. That is the use of font weight and font size. This used to give boldness and used to change the size of the font. And now the next thing. So what is left to style? Yeah, we had a table yesterday, this table. And I told you yesterday that this is not at all looking good. Does this look like a table? Actually, the boys, girls, Sriraj, Nandana. It is not looking like a table, right? It is perfectly like, it's not a table actually. So let's make it like look like a table by giving it some borders. Like this thing. This thing is a table, okay? So for that, we'll access the table tags. We had tags like table, th, and td. Other than tr, we had 4 tags: table tag, table row tag, table header tag, table data tag. So now we'll access 3 of them: table tag, table header tag, table data tag. Yeah, for 3. Oh, yeah. So for this 3, I'm gonna give a border. So we have something called a border attribute. So I'm gonna give a border. What is the thickness of the border I need? So thickness can either be defined in rem or pixel. So I'll show you pixel right now. This is pixel 1px. And I want the border to be solid. Like I want it to be bold, solid border. And what is the color? I'll give black only. So now let's see what happened to our table. Yeah, see, a border came. Yeah, it's a double border, right? And I don't do like it's a double kind of a border. I don't want a double border. I want a single border. So for that, I want this border to collapse. As in, I don't want like both the borders. So I just give border collapse, and this is like kind of this is not at all mandatory. The thing there doesn't look good for me. That is why I'm doing that. Border collapse, collapse. This is something that is not at all mandatory, but yeah, to make it look a little bit more good. Yeah. So now it became a single border, and now it looks like a table, and it looks much better than what it was before, right? So yeah, do you have any other like doubts till now? If you have any doubts, like feel free to unmute or no, sorry, feel free to unmute or like message in the chat box. And now we are going to step into one of the most important things like we have, that is flexing. This might be a little bit tough. It won't be tough actually. This is the most complicated part of using CSS. That is called flexing. So by default, you're seeing that everything is listed below, like H1, H2, this thing below. Everything is listed below. So what if I want to list things side by side? So for that, we use something called flex boxes. So I'll show you. For that, let's define a paragraph tag. Where? Beneath everything, huh? Okay. Let's give first a paragraph tag. Paragraph is hello everyone. I hope you are fine. Thanks. Yeah, so this is a paragraph tag. And I'll be having several paragraph tags like this, and I want this to be listed side by side and not down by down. Now, so by default, it comes down, right? You've seen it before. See, the paragraph tag comes down, and I don't want this to happen. I want this to be listed side by side. So first thing I do is that I wrap every paragraph tag in a separate div. I give a class to every of the paragraph tag, each one paragraph tag. So yeah, this one is done. Oh, sorry. This one is done. Second one. Second one is also done. Third one is also done. Done. Yeah. And I'll use correct here. Yeah, so we have 3 div tags. Inside each div tag, I have this paragraph tag. And I want these 3 things. Consider this div as a block, okay? Div can be considered as a class or a block. So I want these 3 blocks to be listed side by side, not down by down. So for that, I enclose the entire thing in another div tag. Entire thing, like that is the 3 div blocks inside a single div block. I just group that. Yeah, see. So inside this div tag, I've given 3 small kuti div blocks. And I'll give a class name. Class has flexes. Just any class name, just ensure that it makes some sense. So yeah, flexes. And I'll just format this, like I'll give a background color for this thing to make it actually look good. The 3 paragraph tags. I'll give the name class name PT, and I'll just give some color because it won't look good if this be plain. Class PT. Yeah, I'm just gonna give a background color for PT so that when we flex it, it'll look good. Background color, turquoise. So, yeah, I just gave a turquoise color background. Hello? Hello, did someone speak anything? Yeah, I heard something. I don't know. Yes. So let's continue. So inside this, so I just gave a background color for that PT. And now what is the class name of the entire thing? That is Flexes, right? We have given a name, Flexes. I want this Flexes, the divs, the blocks inside this to be listed side by side. So I'll access Flexes here, dot flex here. And for dot flex, what I'll do is I'll give display flex. Now let's see what happened. Yeah. Now this thing is listed side by side, right? Hello everyone, I hope you're fine. Hello, thanks. Hello everyone, I hope you're fine, thanks. Hello everyone, I hope you're fine, thanks. So this is what we actually wanted, like to list things side by side. But this is one way, but like this doesn't look good. We need to format it a little bit more to make it to make it actually look more better. So for that, I'll give something called just show. Sorry. Justify content. This is like the most, I don't know, most trickiest or like, yeah, whatever. Justify content, and I've given space evenly. I'll just tell you what space evenly is, but I'll show you what actually that is. Yeah. So this is space evenly. So what it does is that it spaces these things evenly. So this distance is equal to this distance is equal to this thing is equal to this thing. So what space evenly does is that it places everything like equal spacing. I'll just give a padding to this, okay, so that it'll be more visible to you all. Padding 5%. Yeah. So this space equal to this space equal to this space equal to this space. So this is what actually space evenly does. It spaces everything evenly. So this is one thing that you can do. Justify content space evenly. So another attribute of this thing is justify content space between. Let's see what it is. Justify content space between. Yeah. So what is space between? It divides all the space among the amongst these three. Like we don't have any margin left or margin right now. We have all the space equally distributed among the spaces available between these three div tags. So we have this space here, this space here, this space here, and we have one more thing: space around. So first was space evenly. Now we have space between and we have space around. Yeah, so space around is actually, if you look clearly, it's not space evenly because this space is not equal to this space and this space is not equal to this space. What it does say is equally, like we have like, imagine this to be x, then this is x plus x for this. This is 2x, this is 2x, this is x. Like you can use whatever suits your thing actually. You don't need to know the like actual margin, how much it's actually distributed. So what you will do that you will just experiment it and you will select what actually suits your HTML website the best. So I'm going to use space evenly. So I'll show you what the difference between this and space evenly is. Yeah, this is space evenly. Space evenly actually divides the space evenly among that. And I use space evenly the most because I like that the most actually. So yeah, this is something that is actually this is the most complicated concept of CSS, flex boxes. Like you use it plenty of times, but like the first time when you use, you might get a little bit confused, like space around, space evenly, space between. But yeah, when you go on using, you will be fine. And one thing that has to be made sure is that whatever you give inside this, like div flexes, right? This class, it has to be a div itself. You have to enclose these things in divs. That is actually mandatory. So we have three divs here named class PT. We have three class PTs in div tags enclosed inside an outer class flexes. So this is the pattern of giving flex boxes. We use flex boxes generally to display things side by side. So this is like something that is actually this is one of the most complicated things of CSS. If you have understood this well, then it's great. Okay. So yeah. I hope you don't have any doubts as of now. So if you have any doubts regarding flex boxes, I can explain it again because it's kind of a not difficult, but maybe a little bit tricky, I think. If you have any doubts, please feel free to message or just unmute yourself and just ask if you have any doubt. No doubt. To modify image, you use class image tag. Yeah, you can either give a class inside the image tag. Like yeah, I use that because if I do the other way, if I enclose the image in div tag, it actually won't work the way I want. Actually, you can give classes to div tag, or you can give classes to paragraph tags, or you can give classes to h1 tag. You can give classes to anything you want. But why I used to stick to div tag is the purpose of div tag is giving classes. So we have to use that, right? So why I gave class to image tag is that it won't work if I give. I'll show you. If I did like this, it won't actually work the way I want. Yeah, so and I am gonna give this class strawberry to the outer div tag. So what if I had done like this? That is, I'll format the document with right here. Yeah. So I gave the class name to an outer div. It's not gonna work the way I want. It's not going to change the image width. See, what the image width remains the same. Just the margin, left margin, right, and all comes, but the width of the image remains the same. Like we are getting the image as a fixed dimension, so we actually need to change the dimensions of that particular image and not the box that we are enclosing it, right? We need to actually change the width of the image. So for changing the width of the image, it is always advisable to give the class name to image. You can do the other way, but it won't work the way you want. That is why I gave the class name to this image tag. You can give class name to paragraph tags. You can give class name to h1 tag. You can give class to anything. But usually we stick to div tag because div tag is given for that purpose only. So that is why we use div tag. It's better to use div tag, but in certain cases it won't work the way that we want. That is why we stick to giving the class names. Yeah, any other doubts? I'll show you one more thing. I'll show you how to modify this, like the button we have. Like everything else in the page looks good. Usually, everything is looking fine. I'll just modify this button and show you. Like this button is not at all looking good. It's very bad actually. So we'll just modify this button once. We'll just give the button a class. I'll show you. Where was the button? Yeah. We'll just give the button a class. We can give class to anything, okay? Class DN. Yeah, so class, since the class, we use dot operator bn, and then we give a background color as steel blue, spring green, steel blue looks good. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, so the background color is bluish, and I'll change the color from black to the color of the text from black to white. Maybe white looks a little bit better for that. White. Yeah, looks cool. And now I'll give a little bit padding to make like the spacing. Padding 2%. Oh no, 2% is so big. 0.8%. Yeah, okay, kind of okay. And what we generally do is like I'll give a border radius. Border radius is one highly useful attribute. I'll give it like 10 pixel or m, whatever you want, 10 pixel. What border radius does is that it gives a small slight border, like a border curve. See, so this button looks really cool right now. And I'll just remove it. By default, HTML gives a border color black. I don't know if you can see it, but there is a border color black, an outline black. I don't see, you can see that, right? I don't want that. By default things, the default things I don't want. So I'll just give border none and outline none. I'll just make the border and outline none. I don't want that thing that's given to me by HTML. Maybe you won't be seeing like a big of a change, but yeah, the button is much more better right now. You don't have that slight black border thing right now. And one thing is like we must know that it's clickable, right? So it doesn't feel that it's clickable. Like yeah, it's not for usual clickable things. There'll be some highlighting. So you'll see some highlighting or some the cursor changes actually if you have noted. So for that, we have something here called cursor. See, cursor pointer. Cursor pointer is like, I'll show you what it is. See, the cursor changes to something like this. So someone who hosts this will know that, okay, fine, this is something clickable. This is cool. Yeah. So this is something that you can use for buttons or some clickable things. You can give a cursor pointer. Cursor pointer. And cursor pointer and border radius are some formatting things that you use to make it more beautiful. And if you don't want some unnecessary borders and outlines that is given to you by HTML by default, you can make it none by using border and an outline. Yes, so now our HTML document looks pretty cool, right? Yeah, where is the document? You can give border radius to anything. I'll give this border radius to this pink thing also so that you can see. Pink thing. Pink thing was, where was that pink thing? Yeah, this right, margin padding. I'll give border radius to that. Border radius 20 pixel. Yeah. Now it's a little bit curvy kind of thing. It looks better. So this is something that you can give for anything. Yeah, you can give border radius to anything. You can give for this image too. You can give for this too. Yeah, everything you can give that. It makes it look a little bit more better. Yeah, kind of. So this is about, we can use image as background. Yeah, we can use image as background actually. But I need a good image right now. I'll take a good image and from by tomorrow and I'll show you. I don't have a good image right now. I'll show that tomorrow, okay? I'll take a good image and keep. I don't have a nice image right now. So I'll surely show that tomorrow. Yeah, so any other doubt? Yes, so I think CSS is like kind of an introduction thing. This is like most of the things that we use in CSS. If you have any doubt regarding any of the concepts, you can surely ask. If you have any doubts regarding HTML or CSS, you can ask. Do try these things out, okay? It's like really simple things. It's just purely sense. My designs are not really good. My color sense, my color combinations are not really good. If you have like good color sense and all, your website would be really good to see.